Alright, let's talk about some of the most fascinating yet a bit creepy creatures out there parasites. Let's keep in mind that while the parasites in this video don't really bother humans, they can be pretty tough on smaller creatures like insects and small animals. So, let's start with those that may seem unremarkable at first glance and gradually work our way up to the ones that are absolutely unbelievable. But what exactly is a parasite? Imagine a creature that makes its home on or even inside another living being, taking what it needs to survive and grow, sometimes at the expense of its host. That's essentially what a parasite is. Paper wasp parasite. Xenos vesparum is a group of tiny insects that parasitize paper wasp as a host. The female spends her entire life cycle inside her paper wasp host. It starts when a female Xenos lays her egg inside a young living wasp. Inside, these eggs hatch into larvae that feeds on the wasp fluid, but not enough to kill it immediately. As they grow, these crafty larvae even change the wasp's habits, making it less active and more likely to hang around the nest. This helps the larvae stay safe while they grow. Eventually, they mature and leave their wasp host to find mates and start the cycle all over again, with the female parasites searching for new wasps to lay their eggs in. Green-banded Broodsac. This tiny flatworm has a unique and somewhat bizarre life. It starts its journeys in the bodies of birds, where it lays eggs that exit the bird with its droppings. Then these eggs find a new home in snails, hatching into larvae that undergo a transformation into colorful wiggling structures inside the snail's tentacles. Here's where it gets weird. These tentacles, now looking like wiggling caterpillars, catch the eyes of birds. The snail, under the parasite's influence, ventures out into the open, making it easier for birds to spot. When a bird snatches up the snail, thinking it's found a tasty caterpillar, the cycle starts again. The flatworm matures inside the bird, getting ready to start the whole cycle again. Cotesia congregata. Meet Cotesia congregata, a small but mighty parasitic wasp with a big role in nature and agriculture. This smart little wasp goes after caterpillars, mainly the tobacco hornworm, famous for its habit of feasting on tobacco and tomato plants. The journey starts when a female wasp finds the perfect spot inside a caterpillar to lay her eggs. These eggs hatch into larvae that feed internally without immediately killing the host. They grow steadily, feeding but not killing it right away. After a while, these larvae leave their host, create their own cocoons, and turn into adult wasps. The grown-up wasps then fly off in search of partners and new caterpillars to host their own eggs. As this natural cycle continues, the caterpillar, having fulfilled its role, gently passes away. Chordodes formosanus. Hairworms like Chordodes formosanus are fascinating parasites that specialize in targeting for grasshoppers, crickets, and mantises. The life cycle starts when these insects accidentally gulp down the hairworm eggs, usually from contaminated water sources. Once these sneaky larvae get inside, they take over the host's body. As they grow, they manipulate the host, making it incredibly thirsty, even to the point of drowning. Sneaky, huh? They release chemicals that make the host desperately crave water, even if it means leaving their safe spaces or taking risks. When they're fully grown, they leave the host to mate and lay eggs, starting the cycle all over again. It's like they're using their hosts to survive and reproduce. Their control over the host's behavior is crucial for their own survival. This behavior ensures the host's demise, by droning, providing the perfect place for the hairworms to continue their life cycle. I'm sure you've seen videos of people putting mantises in water to see if something's coming out of them. Well, that's it. Hairworm. Ribeiroia ondatrae. Ribeiroia ondatrae, known as Froglet parasite, is a tiny but impactful organism that affects amphibians like frogs and tadpoles. This parasite has quite a life story. It all starts with its eggs being released into freshwater habitats, where they hatch into tiny larvae. These larvae then find their way into snails, where they grow and transform into a stage called cercariae. Now, here's where things get interesting. These cercariae leaves the snails and seek out amphibians, like tadpoles in the water. Once inside, they can cause some serious problems like making tadpoles grow extra or missing limbs. Imagine how challenging that must be for them. These deformities can affect their ability to move and survive. But the story doesn't end there. When infected tadpoles are eaten by birds, the parasite completes its journey, maturing into adult worms inside the bird's stomach. Eventually, the adult worms lay eggs that are released into the environment through the bird's droppings, starting the cycle all over again. This little parasite may seem small, but it plays a big role in shaping the lives of amphibians and even birds. Cymothoa exigua, or tongue-eating louse. Alright, picture this. In the depth of the ocean, there is this bizarre little creature called the tongue-eating louse. It's like something out of this strange underwater drama. Although we still don't know the full details of this creature's life cycle, we do have a good understanding of the basics. The life of a tongue louse starts as a tiny larva that hatches from an egg. This larva grows, develops into a young one, and eventually parasitizes the host fish, entering from the gills. This is now where things start to get interesting. The tongue-eating louse shows protandric hermaphroditism, means that all individuals start their life as males. After entering the host, the creature either remains male and stays put on the gills or turns into a female and migrates to the mouth. Once there, she will latch into the tongue and start sucking and feeding with blood directly from the main artery. As time passes, the parasite gets bigger and bigger, and the tongue atrophies until there is no tongue anymore. After the tongue's gone, this little parasite doesn't just bail out. Then the parasite attaches itself to the stop and becomes the new tongue. Interestingly, the fish continues to use the new tongue. And as for the fish, well, they usually survive, but you can bet life isn't exactly easy with a tongue-eating louse as a replacement tongue. At some point, the male climbs to the mouth, mates with a female, and eggs are released into the sea. Now the cycle is complete. So yeah, next time you're swimming in the ocean, just remember there might be some seriously strange stuff going on under the waves. Zombie-ant fungus. Alright, get ready for one last fascinating parasite in our list. You ready? So, have you ever stumbled upon the zombie-ant fungus? It's like a plotline straight out of the craziest sci-fi movies you can imagine. But here's the thing, it's real, and it's happening right under our noses in the heart of the forest. The zombie-ant fungus, scientifically known as Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, infects ants, essentially turning them into zombie-like creatures. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine this. The spore from the fungus lands on an unsuspecting ant as it goes about its business in the forest. The spore then grows inside the ant's body, taking over its mind. It's like a scene from a sci-fi horror movie. The infected ant becomes a puppet, controlled by the fungus. It leaves this colony and climbs up a plant or tree, where it grips tightly with its mandibles, unable to let go. Then, the fungus grows, eventually bursting out of the ant's body in a gruesome sight. But wait, it gets even creepier. The fungus releases spores from the ant's body, spreading to infect more unsuspecting victims. Scientists are amazed by this gruesome parasite and its ability to control its host's mind. So the next time you're wandering through the woods, keep in mind, there might be some seriously spooky stuff happening beneath your feet. From paper wasp parasite to zombie-ant fungi, nature never fails to surprise you with its incredible and sometimes downright bizarre parasites. These fascinating organisms may seem like creatures from the wildest imaginations, but they're real and play a crucial role in the intricate web of life.